Good morning, everybody. We have Kanga out here with her new buddy Timber, and as everyone can see, she's filthy, having a good time. So today we're going to show everyone Kanga's very first time on the Mini Educator e-collar. So we warmed her up only about a handful of times before we started rolling, and the reason we brought Timber out here is because frankly she's too damn good at it. It was too easy. So we went right ahead and wanted to add a distraction. So basically what had happened, the part that we didn't have here, as soon as I put the e-collar on her, I tapped it at her working level. She works at 15, which is a pretty moderate level for most dogs, but we do have that thick coat. So she starts feeling it at a 15. So I tapped it, I rewarded her, and then she just wouldn't stop following me. So I needed a little help from Timber here to make this a little bit more challenging. So we're going to put the focus onto the dogs, and I'm really not going to put any verbal command on this at first, at least probably 50 to 100 times really. I just want the dog to have the association that when they feel this very light static, quote unquote shock, we call it a stimulation, that means come get the package, which is some high value goodies I have here right in my hand. We're also going to get into using toys, but ultimately we just want it to be the relationship and a pat. But Kanga's highly food driven, so we're going to use that to our advantage in the beginning. So I'm going to wait until Timber backs off for a little. Hey, Timber, yes. And what you're going to see is she's going to shake her head a little bit. I'm going to mark it with the word yes, and she's going to come right to me. Yes! Right. Okay, then I release. As she's taking a drink, I'll give her a second to stop. I don't want to discourage her from drinking water. As soon as she's done that, I'm going to give it a tap. Yes! Oh, good girl. Now also guys, right? It's important that I want to make this exciting. I don't want to just, okay, feed the dog, right? I want to put some excitement and engagement into that, right? Because if I keep this boring and just every time she hears the word yes in association with the e-collar, running around with Timber is quickly going to become much more fun than just receiving one stupid little treat, right? So it's about, the quality. Oh, good. You see this engagement? And it's not about Timber right now, so I'm kind of backing him or checking him out of the way. But I'm making her work for this food, right? I want her to be engaged in it. Okay. Hey! Yes. Good. So you see a little excitement. She has this issue with the other dog at home where she starts to play a little bit too rough. This is where her e-collar training, yes, is really going to come in handy. So you see, even just see right there, she gets a little bit too much with her playmate. Just a little tap on that, she comes flying right back to me. So you're going to see it. There it was. Oh, she missed it. Yes! Oh, good girl. Okay. Kanga! Kanga! Yes! Oh, good. That's the same amount. Okay. That's the same amount that I had, so I want to give her small quantities in little pieces versus just one big piece of treat, right? Because we just feed one big piece of treat, there's no excitement in that, guys, all right? And we completely devalue it. So if we are going to use food in the early phases of training, do it right. Don't just make it, one positive marker and one reward. You want to have it worth the dog's while. So what I'm going to progress onto this next with is I'm going to put her name to it. She seems charged up with it, so I'm going to tap, say her name. Kanga. Yes. Mark. Okay, and then release. I'm going to wait till she disengages from me because I don't want to just become a treat dispenser. So I want everyone to really start paying close attention to, yes! When she turns her head, that's when I'm starting to engage the remote. Kanga, yes! And as soon as she turns, I stop my tapping, right? So it's a tap on the e-collar just until I have that attention. And ultimately the first thing we're teaching with the e-collar, name recognition, recall, and engagement. Back on the dogs. Yes! Oh, good girl. Okay. And not all the time. I'm starting to put her name to it a little bit. That way she can have a word association. I'm tapping. Kanga. Yes! Okay. Go play. Give her a second to disconnect. You see, I'll give her a second because I don't want her to be on me like Velcro. But another point I want to make, food training done wrong, guys, all you're doing is creating extra excitement, right? So, you know, I know when she goes home, her mom and dad are going to want to give her other treats and give the other dog treats. So she in particular has to kind of learn how to keep her excitement with food under control. And again, one of the number one issues that I have with a system of all food training is just the level of over arousal that you get with the dog. And you know, very, very quickly, when you solely, Kanga, yes, when you solely rely on one method, whether you know, it's a treat or using their kibble, like every time they listen, you need to go and run and get a treat or some of their kibble for them to come into the door. That very, very quickly becomes a condition of obedience. So after the dog gets it, you want to start tapering that off really quick. So in the next sequence of things before we're done, I'm not going to give her any food reward at all. I'm going to give her a little bit of a pat and just kind of conclude the lesson there. But this is what I want. Before like I recall her, I want her to have that disconnection. Otherwise, all she's doing is following me around, and then we just kind of have, you know, a nudge on our hands. So there we go, good and disconnected. Kanga, yes! Ah, good. That's a good girl. Okay. And I don't want too much of that flopping on the belly. Kanga, yes! Good. Kanga, come. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. That was a good one. Didn't flop, didn't get too overexcited, and she stayed there for a moment. On the other one, she kind of just checked in, took a little bit of a peck, checked out. We want her to stay there for a second till we release her. Kanga, yes. Ha ha, good girl. Oh, good. Yes. Okay. All right, we're just gonna do one more with her. Actually, we'll do two more. The next one we'll do with a little bit of food reward, and then the final one that we do, no reward at all, and then we're gonna kind of conclude it there. All right. There she is, all the way over there with her buddy. You're gonna tap. Kanga. Yes. Oh. Come. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Here, because you've been such a good boy, you get some, okay? All right, so now on the last one, we're gonna see if just a little bit of praise, if she's learned something here today. But literally what everybody's seeing with this process right here, this is the very first time. So whatever time this video has been rolling, plus about 3 minutes before, is this dog's experience with the e-collar. And I want everyone to take a close look at her body language right now. Her tail is up, she's loose, she's happy, she's interacting, she's not going into flight mode where she's hiding under the bench. This is a very, what I would call, fulfilled, happy dog, right? So, you know, anything can be used improperly, guys, but what I like to view the e-collar as more freedom than you can ever hope to give your dog, you know, and nothing's 100% guaranteed. But you don't want to look at this as primarily a punishment tool. This is something that could really give your dog a lot more off-leash freedom and reliability. So she's a little too close for comfort for me to call her there, so I'm going to create a little distance for this final one. Let me get rid of this treat. Kanga, come! Yes! Good girl! Woo! That's it. Sit. Yes. Okay. Very good. All right, guys. So, Timber, thank you for your help, buddy. You were very, very helpful. So, I really hope that this helps her, you know, with her excitability around the other dog. But more importantly, I hope she can get a little bit more fulfillment and burn off some of this energy she has, because Kanga's super, super bright, super, super high energy, and sometimes those things together combined can be a little problematic if they're not getting their daily needs met. So we got that done just in time for the rain, so we'll catch everybody later. Take care.